That was weird. Oh boy, that was really weird. It froze up there for a minute. Hopefully this is working, and hopefully I will get some people here to watch. Until I see someone pop up, I'm never sure if it's actually broadcasting. So Toddy's here. Yay, someone is here, so I am live. It's a good thing to know. That's great. And Larry, welcome. Welcome to number 13, lucky number 13. This is the last Cohenversations I'm doing this week. I am actually taking a little break and refresh my mind a little bit. Hi, Jen. How are you? Um, and so, after asking everybody for their questions and getting some fine responses, most of which have to do with auditioning, and I promise I will get to auditioning. I really will. Maybe next week I will talk about auditioning. I've decided today to just forego all of the questions and talk a little bit about an old passion of mine that I am reviving. Hi, Larry. That's me imitating your little emoji. How's that? I used to do daily crossword puzzles all the time. All the time, especially when I was working in San Francisco and living in the East Bay. I would get on BART with a newspaper. Some of you may remember newspapers, kind of a paper that had news on it well before the internet was available. Um, so I'd get on the BART with my newspaper, and I would try my best to complete the crossword puzzle before I got to the city. Um, Sometimes I was successful, sometimes I failed miserably, but I truly, truly enjoyed doing crossword puzzles. Over the years, I've sort of let that go. I haven't done it in a long, long, long time. I think part of it came about because I was not getting newspapers anymore, and the electronic versions didn't seem to have the same appeal. Recently, as many of you know, because I keep mentioning it, I have been furloughed from my job. Uh, I'm now home. Today was my actual first legal day of unemployment. Um, I've been paid up through yesterday. Honestly, I wasn't doing a whole lot of work up till yesterday because, as somebody who is responsible for sort of getting other people to do work, it's hard to do that when none of them have uh, work in their immediate future. So I was making myself available at least. But today, I did not have that responsibility. Um, so, no, I haven't done Games Magazine, Jera, and I was thinking about doing that. But I knuckled under and I got a crossword app for my computer for a couple reasons. Number one, I have time to do it now. Um, and secondly, I really wanted to have something to challenge my mind um, that I could do whenever and but still have that goal of completing it by the end of the day. That's what I have started today. Um, I will admit, Kaisa said to me, "Did you get the New York Times crossword puzzles?" Which, if I were a good person who really wanted to challenge my mind, that is exactly what I would have done. But no, I got some easy ones. I haven't done this for a while, and I want to start easy and allow myself to succeed. Um, but I've completed a couple of them today, which made me feel really good. And I am planning on doing that on a daily basis. So, why should you care about this? You probably shouldn't. Um, it's a personal goal for me. But as I was doing one of my crosswords today, I started thinking about the essence of it and the connectivity portion of it. Now, I know we're all talking about interconnectivity a lot these days because we're all separated. And it seems to be really, really important to people to talk about the fact that we are all connected. We're all going through this together. My sister complains about this hashtag alone together because she says it doesn't mean anything. Um, I've learned not to get into arguments about things like that with my sister, but I do understand it. We are alone in essence, boxed up in our little houses, and we are all experiencing the same thing. So we are in an essence together. Um, so I get that. Absolutely. And we are all pretty much beating a dead horse talking about how we are all connected. We know we're connected. It's essential to our being. We know that. So there's really no reason to go over it again, except to remind you that it is important that we're all together and we are here for each other, and not just now, but when this fiasco ends. Human beings tend to have a really short memory. Once they get past a challenge, it's in the past, it's over, and we go back to our own ways. What I'm hoping is that the efforts we are making now to connect with each other continue. Just because it's easier doesn't mean we shouldn't work at it. And I hope once we are free to not socially distance from each other, that we actually pick up a phone now and then and contact people and just get together, or just do it online because it is easy. And if you don't want to get in the car and drive somebody and somewhere and sit in some far off place so that you can be in the same room, you can still do it on something like this. But we do tend to forget very quickly and go back to our own ways. So in that way, we do need to keep in mind the connectivity that we are actively working toward right now. That's really important. But I wanted to talk about connectivity in another way because right now we are isolated. And for a lot of us who do not have a job, we are very, very used to being scheduled. We go to this meeting. We get this job done because it's due at a certain point. We go from one job to the next, and then all of a sudden our day is over. And it's a very comforting feeling, actually, because we know what is next. But for instance, I woke up this morning with absolutely nothing I had to do except to be here at 3. That was it. And I will admit, I don't put a lot of effort into what we're doing here today in the afternoon. Um, I take some time, I think about what I want to talk about, but I don't fret over it, and I know that something will come out of my mouth. But I did notice that there was absolutely nothing I had to do, and I kind of freaked out. I thought, oh, well, I don't want to watch TV all day. If I just start reading a book, which is something I can certainly do and enjoy, I'm afraid I will just continue reading a book, and that's all I'll do that day. Um, took the dogs for their walk. That was a good thing. But nothing was on a schedule. And I started to think of the magic of crosswords, since I was doing one at the time, and how one word and a seemingly unconnected word connect. And if you connect those, I'm using a little pen here. I picked up a pen. Sorry about that. If you connect the words, you eventually fill in the puzzle. And the words don't normally get connected, but you are looking for the connections between the two. This brings up my friend Joe Hogan. He and I were in a improv comedy group called the Flea Bitten Varmints, and he taught me and the rest of us a wonderful exercise I've used over and over again for both a warm up for my plays or in my workshops called Rant. And in Rant, you start out by saying, you know what I hate? And everybody else says, what? And then you start ranting about anything that you hate. And then another person in the group will try to latch onto one element of what you talked about so that they can then branch off in another direction with what they hate, and so on and so on and so on. Comedy and hilarity ensues, hopefully. But the same kind of thing is really essential to creativity. And if you can incorporate that during your day, especially if you are trapped at home, as most of us are these days, you can create things that you don't expect to be able to create. So start out with doing something, recognize what it is, and then see what kind of connection it may have that might lead you to the next activity, and the next, and the next, and the next. And then all of a sudden, you're going to be filling up your day again. And maybe, just maybe, something that you fall into during that day could end up being the reason that you are looking to create and the product that you will eventually create. And then, when you need a break, you can sit down and do a crossword puzzle. How's that for your plan for the next few weeks? Anyway, I am finishing up right now. I am taking a couple of days away from Cohenversations for a couple reasons. Number one, I want to always feel inspired to do these. I don't want to do them because I feel like, oh, now I've started something, I have to continue doing this. So I want to take a little break, so I miss doing it. And secondly, I don't know about you, and I've had some very nice comments and some nice compliments and some very loyal viewers. But quite honestly, I'm tired of my own voice. Enough of me. What do I have to offer here? Except musings. Musings of an old man. So I'm going to give you a break. I'm going to give me a break. My plan is to come back on Sunday, probably Sunday evening or afternoon, whatever, 3 o'clock. It's always going to be 3 o'clock because it's either this or listen to Trump talk about the coronavirus, and who needs that? So, come back, see me again. In the meantime, take very good care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Keep your social distance from each other. And get outside. Enjoy the beautiful weather, although I hear it's supposed to rain this weekend. We'll see. Um, I know I am thinking about you. And in the meantime, if you do have any questions that you would like me to address, please send them to me and I will be happy to address them. And yes, next week I probably will talk a little bit about auditioning. Take care of yourselves. Love you all.